Dude, at this point, as you were mentioning before, guys, this is a please, almost like a Sadak. You have to win Loud at this point. If they lose this match over here, this is an 0-3 going into Split 1, and their chances to try to make it into playoffs is even worse, because the other teams that are like kind of joining them at the bottom, you have EG, which they have to play in Week 5, but you also have 2G that they lost against.
And it's such a rough opening game as well for the rookie. I mean, you're going against a 100 Thieves team who looks so dialed in their last match, full momentum going their way, and when they have confidence, I mean, remember the Shanghai run that this team had, and yeah, you don't have Bang anymore, you have Xander, but still, they're still so solid, and this meta, I feel like they can really take advantage of it.
You see a little bit of trash talk there, maybe exchange between Vinny and Boostio there in the middle of the stage. Yeah, well, looking at you, Kelvin, don't worry, camera's on you as usual, mate, no dramas. Perm. Yeah, kind of funny. Very Zoomer kind of hairstyle. You know
I love it. I love it. I can't pull that off. You guys definitely can't pull that off.
What do you mean?
You don't have an affair.
That's crazy.
I'm tired of getting slammed for my haircut when we should be talking about this banger of a matchup we're about to get, because we're about to see two aggressive teams go face to face. And I don't know. I think a lot of this is going to be who can get the ball rolling first.
Dude, actually, you bring up a great point. Aggression for one team of 100 Thieves versus the other. I'm looking down the line of this 100 Thieves roster. EU could definitely play aggressive. Asuna as well. And then you have Cryo. Like, all of these guys are going to be shooter from A to Z, but I don't know if we're going to see the same thing coming out from Loud. They tried it last week when, you know, Kawadzine is pushing through smokes with everybody else, but they weren't getting those perfect trades across the board. So that might be one of those win conditions that 100 Thieves could take advantage of, because they're not going to be as coordinated on Loud's side to push and fight.
Here is our map set now. Haven Icebox actually selected here. That's an interesting one. In theory by Loud, and then split to round out the series. So both these teams actually banned Icebox in their previous war in their first matches of this stage, but it looks like they're both ready to show it.
Yeah, I mean, Loud is prestigious on this Icebox map. I mean, keep in mind, completely different roster.
Yeah, exactly.
but still, but the history that this team has. Yeah, true. But the history that this team has on this map shows why they want to pull it through here.
And the history of that map was when you had this double controller, right? You have this Harbor playing with the Viper. And what have we seen from MIBR? Harbor and Viper. What have we seen from Crew? Harbor and Viper. Is there some scrims going on right now in that South American region that they could maybe try to overtake against 100 Thieves?
But of course, Haven first try. We saw ISO Neon from 100 Thieves try. We talked up Cryo a fair bit now. Of course, that double Neon look. We know Digizine likes to play some Neon too, so we might see both these teams try and kick up the pace. But in the past, Louder played a really stock, standard composition on Haven, right? They've had the Jet, they've had the Sova, very reasonable looks here. I'm curious to see if there's going to be any variation from that to set Digizine up. But here's your 100 Thieves composition. Yeah, it's Neon ISO for Haven.
Yeah, nothing new there. I mean, like you said, Cryo was just so enabled because of all the attention that Asuna was dragging when he was just going for these set Neon plays. And their defensive aggression, even on Haven, I mean, I gotta recall the back-to-back down C-long rushes. And look at this right here. DG is on the Neon. He was playing Jet on this map mainly, like we were talking about.
This seems really info light, right? No scan initiated, so they do have the Teo breach look here, and Digizine is starting to play a little bit more Neon on these maps here, but it's going to be curious to see how they put this very elaborate composition together. That seems backwards, but I'm doing this anyway. I'm going to throw to Brett a sideshow for the Casters. It's the big 2025, boys. Take it away.
Yeah, something happened with the timelines, I think, about 5 years back, and somehow we've ended up here, man. I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me at all.
Time's a flat circle.
Yeah, or like a rotating circle, or a snake eating itself, or something. It could be anything you want, actually. But for this one, it's 100 Thieves Loud, and it's a matchup that is a must-win for Loud. As the desk has already been mentioning, you know, essentially it's all on the line at this point. Now, it feels early days in Stage 1 to be saying that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in that kind of spot, should you?
You really shouldn't be, but Loud are sitting at the bottom of the standings, and they need a win, and they need it here and now.
What a catastrophic blow losing to 2G was as well. This is a Brazilian organization, Loud, that used to be untouchable in their region. There was nobody else in Brazil that was even close, but at that point we're talking about completely different roster, a legacy that is, at this point, I mean, especially with 2Es now being shifted out of the lineup, seems further and further away.
Let's see how we're going to get started here. Head-to-head matchup, Neon v Neon, Xander primed, ready. Held with the Paranoia. He's looking for that contact off of Asuna to trigger it, but
that's a bit of a wild trap play here. So you're expecting Asuna to take contact, then a Paranoia, and then Asuna runs at them, which only really works if it's specifically just the Cypher there. If there's more than one player.
Ooh, this drone gets broken in time there. Boostio, quick reposition. Scuttles his way into the back of the site. He's got Cryo for a bit of backup as well. This is a cautious tale being woven by Loud, but it's them that are opening themselves up.
Take a look at Luke Show. Here we go, round 1. He's managed to find a really nice timing into B.
In the 4v5, get the plan down as well. Digizine, watchful eye onto a couple of the extremities. He's worried about being backstabbed into the process, but a flash play and forward to try and take these fights together here and now. That is a call being made out by Loud. Drawing the blood out. It's 3 versus 3, pushing them back and away into the open arms of Luke Shaw, and then we'll see it. A tap. Xander has made his way onto the side here, forcing the issue forwards as well. There's damage done. 4 bullets left. The right clicks, and the bullets going wide, and the knives are coming out to play. Kawazine cleaning them all up for the Red Bull clutch.
Oh, it's silly already. It's silly already. What a pistol round from Loud. What a close there from Kawazine as well, including a knife kill.
I mean, mate.
we were talking about some of the problems that we saw from Loud previously, and I felt like Vinny's calling was a bit of an issue for them in the 2G game.
Yeah.
Now, look at this round and how they start off with a little bit of A pressure, then they go towards a C split, and then they call an audible in the mid round to go back over towards B, because that's where Luke Shaw has found some space. If you have players, especially lurking Sentinel players, that can create you opportunities in the mid round, it can really help your IGLing. So, a lot of what the desk was talking about was how Luke Shaw coming in, well, maybe that's a bit of an upgrade over 2Es on the Sentinel role, but how is it really going to fix the problems that Loud has had? And there, in just the single round that we've seen, we have actually seen an example of Luke Shaw finding a really intelligent timing and making it easier for Vinny to call.
Yeah, hard agree, because on paper, you know, you might be questioning, well, the calling's a problem. You're going to be making reactive moves. I mean, maybe the roles wouldn't have worked out, but I was under the impression maybe Vinny would be the one to go.
And then, what, 2Es is playing Initiator?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really work in terms of roles, does it?
And then who picks up the IGLing?
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see a very young player joining the league, and a player with a lot of eyes on him as well. A lot of the Brazilian scene looking towards Luke Shaw, expecting big things. He's very talented.
Yeah, gassing him up.
We've seen him play in the off-season events. And now we get to see him here on the VCT stage. And it is a tough spot. I really agree with the desk. It is difficult to just be thrown into Tier 1 here, having basically just turned 18, become eligible to play. And then you have to... Essentially, this is a must-win game. Like, you have to win this one as Loud. Otherwise, your chances of getting through to playoffs are, what, maybe like 10, 15%? It's really low.
It's really low, yeah. I mean, you're looking pretty rough if you are Loud here, but a good opener, winning out this pistol. We're getting this solved as well. Slight audio issue on stage round, just to keep you all honest. And yeah, we'll be getting into the game as soon as it's ready. And ahead of today's matchup as well, we ended up asking EU for his read on Loud star duelist player, Digizine himself. Check this one out.
I think DGZen has like a good system for the way that he plays. He doesn't like force too many bad engagements. He usually tries to take his fights on his own terms, and he has a really like consistent method as to like how he likes taking his fights, like usually like front to back. Like you won't see DGZen like dashing into sight and like 360 and clearing every angle or anything, trying to entry. He's very like calm, composed, and confident in the way that he plays, and I think that's why he's really good.
We're getting to see Digizine in the Neon versus Neon head-to-head here on Haven. And this is kind of new for him. We are used to seeing him play Jet on this map, pick up a ton of Operator on defense. I've got to imagine he's not going to be open as much once the sides swap.
Yeah, you might throw it in every now and then, I think, just to add a twist to the overall game plan, but you are right in terms of Neon. You want to be active, you want to be moving around, rifle in hand, mostly.
And if you look at the way that Asuna tends to play on the defense side, 100 Thieves are the only real, like, solid, decent team on Haven that we've got in Americas playing an ISO composition on Haven. There are other teams that have tried to run it, but haven't found too much success. 100 Thieves have actually found a ton of success running this idea on Haven. But if you watch the way that Asuna's playing it, he's mostly playing to rotate. He's kind of the flexible flood player. It looks like we're about ready to go back in, though.
Yeah,
Timer ticking down. And only Asuna on this C side, with a stun perhaps to try to stop Loud.
It's going to be met with an absolute wild play. He's just trying to feign like they are doing a hard play, but just the stun itself, not really enough to sell it. Oh, well, Loud are getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, and
maybe
they're
pushed
actually-
into the stack.
They're falling for the trap. Now, Kawanzin should be able to read this. There's been no follow-up, no carrying on pushing, no footsteps, and he drones and sees no one. So they've got to realize at this point that was a fake. And again, one of the players on Loud making it easier for Vinny to call.
Aston's going to overstage just ever so slightly for that information. He's going to get it, pays for it in blood. And my god, you don't have the weapons out for that one. Now, Lucio's not going to give up too much. For the cause there, just a ghost handed over to the opposition. And an open sight now for Loud as well.
Yeah, that's pretty fine. We're taking a look at Cryo's ultimate, though. You do not really want to be building that one up. As soon as the ISO starts getting rolling, you heard Baby Bay talk about it. The first team to kind of hit the ground running here is going to have a big advantage because they're momentum-based, they're aggressive, they're fast. And as soon as you start ult cycling, it can be really difficult to play against that kind of style of Valorant.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like Cryo is going to be able to get too much more than a single ult point for his death.
And they're going to be going down as well. Now, the weapons exchanged hands earlier, so all three of them purchased in. Cryo will look to do some damage.
I mean, if he can get another, this is a huge spot to do so. He went absolutely bonkers in their previous game.
And he gets removed. He's got the one.
Oh, he nearly got another.
Okay, so bit of damage to the economy.
And also making some good progress towards his ultimate. He's only 2 away.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and he's 2-2. What kind of strategy has Loud got cooked up here, then? This is our first time seeing them run this composition. Expecting them to have some ideas where they run a set strat off the rip. Very empty Garage and B here, bro.
Yeah, it is. I mean, everyone from 100 Thieves is grouped up. Looking for a fast play over towards A lobby, and there it is. You see the cage. Send out a bit of suppression, a bit of damage as well. Luke Shaw is barely alive, just scrambling back over towards C now. This is it. All eyes set towards that objective and sight. Loud moving forwards. Util has to be clean, and diligence shown, I think, with their approach into this as well. They're being slowed down to a crawl by 100 Thieves, flooding straight back into the action. They want to try and take the fight straight to them, sliding in through the back as well. Trades are in sight. Loud coming out on top. Get themselves access to this site and a plan, an extension now. Earned for out, 4v3 for 100 Thieves to be playing into this retake. It's a tough one.
Pancada, a little bit isolated from the rest of the Loud players in this post plant. And that's going to be the first target that 100 Thieves look for. And Cryo would love to find an isolated 1v1.
I'll just get it. Wow, Vinny with the movement. Tap, tap as well. Bulldog in hand. He's just swiftly dismissing Cryo, and the rest of the piece is going to be falling into the laps of these Loud players. Asuna realizing it. Wait a second. No money. No chance. Got to save the gun. And this is 3 in a row for Loud now, early on. And Asuna might not even get to keep that gun as well. He's got to hear this one, surely. Tip tap of the footsteps. Round to the side. We'll stay alive.
But that's a massive round to get on the board for Loud. They contacted all the way up. This was actually a beautiful bonus round setup. They put down the smokes as if they're just going through C. So they smoke off Garage, which allows them to walk up Garage. Because Boostio's got the cam that spots through from the C site through this Garage connector. But he can't see anything because of the smoke in his way. So a really nice bonus round idea that specifically works off. Again, you can see the same camera being placed here again on the C site. This one just got smoked off completely and allowed the whole of Loud to walk up through Garage. A massive hole in what 100 Thieves were going for there. Luxo is almost playing completely separated to the rest of the team, by the way. In every one of these rounds, he's kind of working the opposite side of the map.
Make sure that he holds on to a bit of map control as well. You can see slow start into the round for Loud. They don't want to run into any sort of these half-price stacks that 100 Thieves might be opting into. They show presence and they're stacking more and more bodies while they're at it. There is danger here. Loud opt to go into it. Util isn't quite clean enough, especially tucked up close to the corner. It's an off angle to be held, but okay, Luke Shaw got it anticipated. The rest of his team flooding straight back in to assist, and the feed filled up entirely. This is Loud in complete control so far in this series. 100 Thieves without any options. Now the next round are going to just be able to get the money together for another buy going for them, but at this point, need to start looking at some changes.
Yeah, what do they go for? when we heard from EU earlier today, he spoke to Elizabeth and he was saying, we feel like our micro-fighting is our real biggest strength. That's what we learned from the game against EG. They haven't honestly had a team fight this entire game, apart from, you could argue, this one, where they have massively inferior weaponry. So I could see 100 Thieves going for something aggressive here, and really trying to force the fight before Loud can find the weak side of their defense.
Yeah. The timer paused. One of two options. I'm hoping it's just a tac timeout, though. 100 Thieves taking it.
It would be a very early time for a tactical timeout, though. It would be very early for that. Loud have got one away from the breach ultimate here. All right, just a tiny little delay, but who knows what. All right, good though. One away from a breach ultimate, but you're expecting 100 Thieves, or at least I am, to be trying to control the tempo in this round.
And again, heavy pushback over towards A lobby.
They're looking for Luxo. They're trying to find him on this classic Cypher default over towards A short.
So close. Boostio was playing this in a prior round as well. That trip's going to be broken. Stunned up close to the corner. Not sure if he's spotted whatsoever. Still, it's a lot of util being used to try and clear him. Out! And there it is. Thorn in the side removed. This site open for the taking once more. And 100 Thieves. Hello, what are they doing? Scattered to the winds on the minimap. They're just saving.
Yeah, I mean, it's round over. If Boostio and Xander both fall like that, the round is chalked. And I think here you're starting to see a little bit, well, first of all of the 100 Thieves players being isolated. Again, EU said, we like doing our micro fights. We don't want to opt into individual kind of duels against a team that's so individually talented. They put that respect on Loud, as you should. But here, Boostio just gets nuked by utility, and Xander's trying to flood in to help him, but they don't control backside. Boostio's in a tucked, aggressive position and not pulling really any attention apart from Kawanzi. So, it's not working here for 100 Thieves.
No, the hunt for the guns begins. Two players grouped up, both of them spotted. We'll see if 100 Thieves can keep their hands tethered and attached to most of it. Bullets through the wall. Only keeping the one.
Look at this though, Boostio's just stuffed in a corner, and Xander, as he comes through, has already lost the whole of backside. I mean, look at this from Xander's PO. Oh, well, he gets flashed as well. But even if he hadn't been flashed, Dijazine is on the angle before Xander is.
Did they contact up C long there?
They contacted up C long, the same as round 3, where they contacted all the way through Garage. So the game plan here for Loud is contact right up to Boostio's Cypher util, and then explode. And I think that this is really abusing the fact that 100 Thieves are running the Neon instead of the Yoru. Because if you run the Yoru ISO composition, then you can have a teleport ready to help Boostio and Xander immediately.
Absolutely.
And if you're doing those kind of fast C hits, you are going to be hitting into 3 players. But Asuna can't possibly get over there in that kind of time.
Yeah.
Loud coming out with a great game plan here to get 5 on the board, and probably 6, because they're on an anti-eco. 100 Thieves need an adjustment. I think now is the right time for this tac timeout. I think Ziggs has got to realize that they're doing this contacty kind of play. They need to be either, Boostio needs to be jump spotting, they need to be trying to take a deep cam down C long maybe, they need to be possibly fighting it with an operator. There are multiple ways to try to counter a team that's playing this contacty against you, but they've got to pull out some kind of adaptation.
All good options. Luxo, now the youngest player in VCT Americas, born March 7th, 2007. That'll make most people feel old. Probably not our audience though. But it makes me feel old.
So turned 18 less than a month ago.
Yeah.
And then was kind of swapped from the reserve roster to the active roster very recently, and had a lot of the community wondering, well, what's he going to be doing then? Who's he coming in for? But was just a 1-for-1 swap with 2Es.
A slow start again for Loud. Again, they're up against the weaker weaponry. They don't want to give away anything too easily. No mistakes. Overall game plan, though, I have to say, is astoundingly good considering what I was really expecting from Loud. I think we both agree, Josh highlighting the calling a bit of an issue for Loud, but they've really dismantled these opening game plans by 100 Thieves. Any ideas that they've had? We know Ziggs likes to call them up. Pistol round ideas, bonus conversion ideas. But it's all been navigated quite nicely.
It almost feels a bit too easy.
Yeah.
For Loud here.
Just a bit of spam into the smoke. They know what's coming. Kills are going to be found. Dizazine's going to be hearing it. Cryo jumping around, hopping around. Min-max it, why not? Pancada, you're the last one to get your ult on the team. Go on, have a go.
Spike planted.
Cryo's had this ultimate, by the way, for the last, don't know, 3 rounds, something like that. Are they going to actually try to send it? This is so tough to get anything done.
Yeah.
You've got 2 Sheriffs and a Vandal in a 3v4 retake. They're going to
Drop
try.
down, Boosty, what a shot! Series of them, snapping back their heads, decapitating these players. This is suddenly much more winnable.
Salvos.
And they know the direction it came in. Cryo, good time to let loose with the ult. He's caught it. Tail ult unleashed in time. So fighter needs to be one out, but surely, hold on, time is ticking away, and Xander just about gets onto it.
Yeah, still got a couple of seconds left here, I think, in the tank.
Yeah. What a call to make for 100 Thieves.
I have no idea how Boostio got those 2 kills. I mean, he just jumps out heaven with the ISO wall, and I think he hit a 180 flick on the player in hell.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's see how we got into this spot here. There's one. There's the other. Pancada just throwing out some util to try and delay them. Expecting most player to come from the link area.
That's what you need from Boostio.
That cryo wall that you were saying, well, okay, it's good in that scenario. Checkmate.
It is. 100 Thieves get on the board. Managed to evade the goose egg.
Is that danger too much?
Aggro Cam, really fast play. Completely changing the
Paranoia,
tempo.
look, showing so far forward. This guy does not care. Welcome to the big stage. Hunter's Fury, reactionary EU, hold on. 80 damage and a kill already claimed. This one, much more winnable once more for 100 Thieves. They've stemmed the bleeding, but they have to deal with Digizine. Lurking his way, wriggling into the 4 positions, and he's heard all the sound cues. Ready and waiting with a rifle in hand. Asuna going to be dropped. And how do you play this if you're EU and Cryo?
I mean, you just never expect the Neon to be lurking B like that. And now they're worried about this player behind them. How do you focus forwards?
Forwards with the wall. Forced out of Rolling Thunder with the tap, but going to be stunned up, caught in towards the back. Shield won't save you there. Last player, not too sure. Digizine's left guessing as to where EU could be played, but it matters not. 6-1 here for Loud. An abundance of ults they're building up. It's one of the key and core win conditions, I suppose, of their composition as well, once they get that ball rolling.
A great adaptation again, though, from Loud. This was the first round that they'd lost, round 6, and they immediately swap up the tempo. So instead of contacting through, they actually go for a fast play through Garage. They catch Boostio in a position where he's just put the cam down, and then take a bit of a brawl. And Luxio gets 2. Coming back in to ping-pong off his entry player.
Very nice.
They've broken the eco again of 100 Thieves. Barely had guns.
Glide to the side. Digizine, you're alone play in that way. Asuna plucks him out of the picture. The money's a little bit all over the place, but a couple more kills like that, you can do some serious work. Boostio even taking liberties. He's made the sound cue.
Not what he was after there.
No.
Wow, my eyes are down.
And all walking up towards A-Long.
This time, though, 100 Thieves are actually in the right position. This is rare. Normally when 100 Thieves have been doing these contact plays, they've found the weak side of the map. Whereas this time they're contacting into 3 players who are ready to defend. This one should not go quite as well. Worrying spot, actually.
50 seconds left.
They have time to leave if they wanted to.
And honestly, you're seeing so much util being used. Okay, they just want to press the advantage. What they think is there. Here and now, still Pancada force forwards. Luxio again, dominant on his position. He's just trying to take the names and rip them off the board. Still Cryo turns a favor. Stack of these players. An ult on top. Neurotheft is going to be revealing all in just a few shy moments. Vinny's left to be the last one alive. Can't quite dodge the paranoia as well, so quick and easy cleanup there for 100 Thieves.
And this is one of the rounds where it feels like what Vinny was calling against 2G. You know, they didn't really put pressure anywhere else on the map. They went A, lost to Digizine early, and then they just carried on going A.
Yeah.
And 100 Thieves had a 3-player stack there and end up winning on a thrifty round, or at least a half-buy round. Loud have got themselves into a really, really solid position to win this map and take away their opponent's map pick. You can't afford to let the advantage slip at this point. You've got to keep hammering it home.
Right here.
Tripled up now for 100 Thieves. Through mid, anticipating a play from Loud in that direction. Asuna is very much alone, spamming away.
I'm out of here.
They're really anticipating this to be a B finish. I mean, 3 players since the beginning of the round, first 20 seconds, all stacked up in a high, low, low.
Not moving away. Asuna is... there's danger here. That's why he's looking towards his back, because he's like, well, we have no A-long control. And he's isolated onto the side. It's drone in through mid. Surely reinforcements should be arriving. I mean, Asuna's going to need the helps. Here's the drone. Smoke's bloomed, blossomed. Cry's trying to get himself all the way in as a Paranoia swoops forwards. And Digizine isolated out into the fight. The dart up above. That was at least a great reveal. And 100 Thieves flooding in. Beautiful work. Looked like they potentially weren't going to be ready in time for it.
They took a long time with that triple stack over towards B, and yet still had players in the right position. I think credit to Asuna for that wall that he throws that just cuts up the site, allows the rest of 100 Thieves to flood in behind. Pretty perfect flood wall there that he throws from the Neon. And then Xander's Paranoia, I think, sets up Cryo for the first kill.
There's that wall.
And as soon as the wall drops, you can just be on any angle. It's really difficult for Loud. Where do you look? I mean, they could be behind the cover, or they could be out in the open. It's a shooting gallery.
So potentially...
Loud are definitely losing their grip on this game.
Yeah, it's that mid-round, right? Take a bit of space at the beginning, but they don't really know what to do after the fact.
I'd like to see them just go back to what they were doing previously. Do a lot of contacting up over... then again, I mean, if they did go for the contact up towards C this round, you see Boostio and Cryo both holding that.
Trying to set it up in a high-low. Asuna again is isolated here. Very much alone. Again, that same wall, using it to try and buy his team a bit of space to get back in through the back of the side. It's Digizine, though. Wins it against his opposition. Xander somehow finding a pick in the midst of all of it. Going into the default setups now to try and push them back and away here. Util going to be used. Aftershock already expended. Cryo holding on. He's got a big ult to use here. Digizine, though, is plucked Boostio out from heaven. And Cryo left alone into the gulag. Slide the jump spots. Kawazine, happy feet. And the rest of his team just cleaning up around him.
This time Loud find the opening. Digizine deciding to contest that, fight through the Neon wall. And a lovely individual play by Kawazine, as you highlighted there towards the end too.
Oh, this is a nice one.
Just when it looked like it might have been starting to slip for Loud. I mean, Digizine is basically sliding right into his face there, isn't he?
You and me.
We're occupying the same place in time. But this was one of those rounds where 100 Thieves are trying to get a bit... They're trying to cheat away from the A site at the start of the rounds, because Loud have not been running those fast A execs. And again, 100 Thieves are really banking on the fact that there's going to be some mid pressure. They're hoping they can catch maybe just Luxo.
Yeah, he was finding those spots. Stray spam, bullets going their way. Big drone in. Loud, though, setting their eyes over towards A long once more. The goal is the A split. Before, what worked for them was speeding up the timings in between. And Asuna's been dropped anyway. Still, reinforcements are going to be arriving rapidly at that. Xander's already in through the back. There's a dart to try and help and supplement, but Luke shot. There's no denying this guy. This kid steps up onto the big stage and delivers them. Nice concoction out through the back. No rough theft as well, revealing that last remaining player, Boostio. No hope left. It's going to be handed and offered up. A couple of mistakes and misplays, I think, from Loud, and they're just not in a mood for it. Especially not Luke Shaw. This kid is showing up big time.
A great round. So much confidence. And he's up there near the top of the scoreboard. 13-7 across 11 rounds. And this play's lovely. He's just running through the opposite side compared to Digizine. So while Digizine gets shut down by Xander, Luxo is just in.
Yeah.
Catching them in the side of the head. And if you wanted to take a look at the Neon head-to-head, Asuna's got to be hoping it gets better when he gets to the attack side.
That's what we're going to be staring at here for round 12. Weaponry not entirely ideal for 100 Thieves. They've done more with less, though, in the past, still. 8-4 going to be the best that they're hoping for. Quick break at the camp. Luxio's going to be communicating that, I think, to the rest of his team. And this time, Boostio does adjust with the jump spot, so he's getting that information and still trying to play a bit more aggro on top of it. Dodging, juking at least, trying to avoid it. With a flash was the first wave, but he not enough to take care of that stun. And they do clean up. Luxio on the opposite side of the map. 100 Thieves trying to get into position now to do some real damage onto this retake.
4v4 retake for one of the first times, actually, and a Neon battle potential on the flank. Asana's been caught by Dijazine in B before. Dijazine is playing these spots really weirdly.
Game of timing. Game of timing in a crosshair placement, not anticipating it. So, Asana taking him out. Kawazine taking point onto the side. Narrowly sidestepping along most of it, and these kills seem to be flooding in. Pancada still EU. Answering straight back, gliding into your face. And good luck dealing with that. There's no aim labs routine that can help with you. I mean, listen. 4 rounds, 100 Thieves, they will take it at this point.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. 100 Thieves have been looking for that, where they hunt down Luke Show early on and then play the retake. Vinny died to a shock dart there too. Little bit of chaos, but I think Loud will be very happy with the half overall. An 8-4, where most of it, like the rounds 1 through 5 and then round 7 as well, basically all off a really good game plan.
Yeah.
Call it the game plan, call it the anti, whatever you like, but it got Loud up to some serious success early.
Absolutely, a lot of momentum as well. We'll see if 100 Thieves can answer back on the other side.
Oh. Huh? Nature sure is full of wonders.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
What a difference a week makes for a team like Loud as well. This is a great beginning in a series that is a must-win for them as well, just to set the kind of stage, I suppose, as well. If they ended up losing this overall series, it would be rough for them, to be honest, to make playoffs overall in Stage 1 towards the end of it. For 100 Thieves, though, they're a team that they don't shy away from these opening game plans on the pistol, and I saw a multitude of pings on the minimap as well. They are cooking something up. Might be burnt, we don't know yet.
Well,
but
I think they're going to end up having a fight in mid before they even get to the game plans.
Let's
Because
find
both teams want to fight over this lane.
Here's a face as well. Jao with the movement. My God. Asana's trying to get quirky with it still. It's a smoke into the face of the rest of the team. And player advantage situation. That's going.
How'd you get the spike?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Got to cook someone up if you are 100 Thieves. Here it is, round to the side as well. Cryo could return to that fire once more still. Not enough to really push back that player disadvantage, but as I say that, Boostio straight back into it, flick to the side and away. 1v1 now, and Cryo should be set up with the advantage. You've got to think as well, shield inside. Taking away too much damage in the process though. 18 HP. Barely getting the hell out of there. Him versus Kawazine. Just like that, the advantage flips on its head.
Kawazine already got the better end of him inside one of these ults earlier on. Be a devastating loss here if Cryo lost it. Especially considering he had that shield at the start of the 1v1. Oh, he's gone for the tap, trying to bait Kawazine in.
That was heard. Kawazine. Oh.
But he's slow walking.
Yeah, he's getting a move on. Now he knows it wasn't actually a full committal, but does he clear this corner? That is the question. No way, shoulder! Poking out wide. A couple of bullets, not enough for the kill. Kawazine, lucky to be alive. And he's following around.
30 seconds left.
It's a wild chase that's occurring. Cryo, open access, salvers are online, 20 seconds left. It's getting whittled down at a moment's notice. Drone forwards, cancelled. Kawazine again, there's tap and mind games that are being played between them. 13 seconds left, Kawazine taking a peek out wide now, full committal by Cryo. It's all about this one fight that's taken now, and into the timing, Kawazine wins it out.
He's at his number today.
Oh.
And Kawazine's had some big moments too. Feels like everybody on Loud finding their spot, able to step up when it matters. And that has just catapulted them into a spot where they should be winning the map at this point. It's a great one. He's got a shield here as well.
Yeah.
Once the ISO starts rolling in rounds like this, I mean, what is that peak as well? He's just perfectly shoulder baited the shot.
Yeah. SDK clutching the chest.
Yeah.
Digazine, listen, talk to him. 100 Thieves. I'd love to get off to these early starts with a bit of momentum behind them, winning out these pistols. So far, this map has not gone their way. And here, not quite all in, but they're just going to be sending it flying forwards now into the seaside. Reinforcements arriving in through the back as well. You got to know exactly where these players be laying in wait. Boostio, not much you can do from this spot, unfortunately. Digazine, very aware.
This is the kind of round that Thieves could never really put together on their defense side. You see here how Luke Shaw didn't get overwhelmed. He had constant people flooding in to defend him and help him. And Vinny was there to deal with Asuna, who looked like he might have been able to overwhelm Loud's site anchor. And part of the reason for that is because they got the kill on A so early. When Xander dies over towards A, it then becomes a lot easier for Loud to justify rotating people heavily towards C at the first sign of danger.
Okay.
Cryo, though, one away from an ult, and if anybody was going to get 100 Thieves back into this game, it would be Cryo. He had a monumental performance. Every time he's picked ISO on this map, he's been dropping crazy numbers. Today, the team's performance is just, I mean, it looks like the game's going to be over before he can get there. But he's also lost some important 1v1s, these kind of things.
Yeah. Diligent start to the round, though, for 100 Thieves, making sure they clear up some of the Sentinel utils at re-clear chord 4 by Loud. That's what that fault line we were all hearing. Kawazine tucked close. Spam onto the corner. 100 Thieves now looking for a different approach. All grouped up towards A. No way! Digazine, how the hell are you getting hell out of this one? He's stand-up Asuna, so option for the chase, not really quite there, still with Outlaw in hand. Could be in a danger zone, and here's the speed up. Chord 4 here by 100 Thieves. Paranoia gliding through, trying to set the stage, and a bit more on top of it. Asuna! Rapid with a flick to the side and a flick of the wrist. Still 100 Thieves spiral their way through and in. Cryo, expenditure of the ult clears through, but there were still gaps into that one. They don't suspect this. Luke Shaw off to the side, looking to the side. EU, a bullet to the side. And this is Cryo. Barely alive at all! And one bullet is all it takes!
What a debut! Digazine on his feet. I mean, what a hype man to have beside you in a spot like this. I don't feel like there'd be anybody better to have on your side of the field when you're playing your debut in VCT.
Especially with all the pressure that we were talking about as applied, this is a must-win series for Loud to have a chance in your Stage 1 playoffs.
And Luke Shaw's been great. He's top fragging for them. 17 and 9, finding timings, avoiding being punished, creating constant pressure.
Yeah.
And the vibe looks good over there.
It does.
11 to 4. 100 Thieves have got enough money to be able to scrap something together, but this is the last chance. I don't know what Cryo was up to with that ultimate as well. He just sent it.
Just sent it.
He just was hoping that Luke Shaw was playing in the AB connector.
Looking a bit flustered though as well, because it's not a great ult for even giving you peace of mind in that area.
No.
It misses one entire section of Link, so they still had to look in that way just in case he was lurking.
Yeah, it's not like they knew because of the ult that he was on the flank.
Yeah.
They didn't actually get good info from it either. It's the kind of ult where it has to land for it to be useful.
Yeah.
And now you don't have it for being able to open up this round, for example. And if we're being honest, the ISO ultimate on the attack side is the biggest part of this entire comp. You are supposed to get into good situations, use the Sova utility to set up for good ISO ults, and just chain them together. Try to get like 3 a half.
100 Thieves have never had the chance, though. All the momentum from beginning to end. Listen, pistol rounds going away of Loud. You take the wind out of the sails of 100 Thieves as well. Listen, in a game like Valorant, first to 13, it's a big deal. 100 Thieves put a lot of stock into trying to win out pistol rounds with quirky ideas. All Loud, though, today, so far. Buying up with guns here, 100 Thieves. Same play as what we saw prior. What a shot. I mean, Xander's about quite wide there. Lucio still collects it.
You just expect the side anchor to be jiggle peeking or jump spotting that. You do not expect them to be wide swinging and killing you.
Quick re-clear as well from Loud. They want to try and regain control out towards Garage. So they expect Asuna to be tucked close. Not quite. So Cryo being dropped, but they're putting the squeeze on him now and yet. Fully aware of it. Look at it.
It's too easy. Loud looks significantly better today. 100 Thieves have not turned up to this match at all. I don't think they've had a round where it looks like their performance against EG.
It's been rough for them. It's up to Boostio and EU to see if they can dig their way out. A very sorry situation. Jump spot, just seen the cape, I think, perhaps. So Lucio should be aware. There's the flash, and here's the peek as well. Dodge not quite in sight, neither of the bullets, but you gotta know what these 100 Thieves players are, and it just makes it that much sweeter and that much easier. Up to 12 for Loud. One more is all it's gonna take.
And how many kills can Lucio get up to? This is a ridiculously good debut. 20 kills across 16 rounds.
Yeah.
It's astoundingly good. Look at that,
It's just out in the open.
In the open. That's so risky to go for something like that. What if Xander had a friend? But alas, for 100 Thieves, all of that kind of team coordination, rifling, everything's been going the wrong way for them. And Lucio cannot put a foot wrong.
No. At this point for 100 Thieves, you're thinking about Icebox, to be honest, at this point.
They're going back into him again here, Brent.
They are. It's bargain bin buys, though, and double trip set up towards A-Long. Asuna might be in quite a tangle. Hold on. Walking at the right moments. They do spot out the util. TP up towards the top as well. So these trips not going to be finding too much value. Open sight and access now over towards A for 100 Thieves. Get that plant down. Just barely spotting the top of his hat.
So much of this is going to be on EU back here.
And there
it's
it
going
is.
to hold off the flood, the flank.
Pressure applied. Calls for help. Cryo going to help him out as well, side by side here. An attempt being made by Loud. Nice swing all together now. Kawazine collecting. That's 2. Armageddon sweeping through and away. Paranoia gliding forwards. An attempt to readjust by 100 Thieves. Flipping the sight in the process, but the spike is on the other side of them. They are well and away from this. Damage done to Xander. Into the 1v2. Kawazine. Kawazine, surely not. Time ticking, and with that circle shrinking. Looks pretty at the end. But 100 Thieves, they are still alive for now.
They are alive, but at what cost? Every player falls. Kawazine with 4 kills. And the money's atrocious. I think they've all got like 3,500 credits, something like that, to buy armor, all of their abilities, and a gun. And look at what they're working with right now. You know, EU doesn't have a drone. Cryo doesn't have a vulnerable. You know, these are rough sacrifices to have to make.
Break's over. Go, go, go.
And all it's going to take is one round here for Loud. Similar start again for 100 Thieves. Trying to break this trip in through Garage. Feigning it, but not actually breaking it.
Drone going out.
Not having a drone on a round like this is a nightmare for 100 Thieves attack macro. EU's just going to hope to, I guess, shoot people with his Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, 100
hope
Thieves
that makes the
got to be
difference.
clean with the trades, haven't they? Kawazine forward still. Too much to overcome.
DG's in a weird spot here.
Really is. It's a wall. It's going to be tracking. Where the hell is Asuna playing, man? Stern off to the side as well. Good collection. Xander's there, though. Supplements it. Necessary.
Good wall from Cryo, too.
Spike
Keeping himself
planted.
safe in that spot. Now it's actually Loud who are in a bit of a weird position. If you want to go for a save in a spot like this, you're in a 3v5. Very difficult to make anything happen. No flank potential.
Yeah.
And they're just going to save. So one of the more difficult rounds for 100 Thieves to convert on because they were coming in with a Bulldog and lacking some major util like the drone from EU. But they make it work. And mostly just to do with finding a particularly awkward timing for Kawanzin. Left alone and out in the open at A-Long.
Gotta go.
Guns are picked up for here for 100 Thieves, and like you said, Loud opting into the save as well. Difficult decision to make, I think, when the money's as low for 100 Thieves, but they don't want to get the ults rolling. It's probably the big thing with a comp that 100 Thieves are running. It's one thing that will get them back into this map, even though it seems pretty far off from now at this point in terms of a 6-round deficit. Loud up to 12.
Yeah, it definitely can ult cycle to some degree, but I think that requires Cryo going absolutely bonkers. And DG, he's bringing out the operator. Gonna be taking it down short, having a look at Boostio.
Go, go, go. Gotta go.
No, taking it down A-Long as well. Still with Boostio in his sights, most likely.
Same opener. Okay, that's a bit of a difference maker though. With Boosty dropped down over towards A. Walking up behind us. You know the trip's been there. Definitely prior. Luke going to be feeling the heat soon enough. And well, just, oh my, hopping around, shooting around. Barely able to get a control of this one. Asuna puts him to bed. Puts him to rest. In through the site now. 100 Thieves get this plant down. Forward aggro positions, almost like they wanted to go for another attempt at a refight, but with EU playing his old as well, I mean, they could go for it again.
Yeah, they might be going for a silver ult play here.
Saw this play before, he doesn't quite have the vulnerable still. Here's that Hunter's Fury, ult's layered down, and there it is, lining them all up. Dodging, juking, off to the side, still 2v2. In the midst of all of this one with the body peeking, ever so slightly out Santa. As long as he stays alive though, that's the danger, the dart. Narrowly missing this one, Shockey's raining in from above. Kawazin having to dodge to the side for most of this one here. Kills are flooded in, and Loud are the ones winning it out.
In control from beginning to end. What a turnaround. On a map that they picked against Crew just a couple weeks ago and got utterly battered.
Yeah.
And now here, making a shift in composition, coming off the back of a loss to 2G.
Yep.
And this is the version of Loud that we see today.